let's say I'm a really active person and I can compensate and get by, like my 85% is still more than what people are trying to get back to, right? But I have that last 15% I can't figure out how to get back, that type of thing. But I mean, a lot of times too, come in, we'll get people coming in who are 60s, 70s, and most of the things that they try to do to improve might be a little too stressful. Like they start really lifting weights or something like that, and it's just a little too much mechanical force on some of those a little bit compromised joints. Well, we're able to help them find the areas that need more activation and create that opportunity with less mechanical stress, right? So brain muscle stress up, mechanical stress down, work on ranges of motion, and it's a great option for those people too. So
what's fascinating to me, how many people, just at ballpark, are coming in around that 35 to 45, 50-year-old age where, to your point, you're like, I'm 85%, I'm pretty good, right? I can do most of the things I wanted, but like I'm almost 40. And I'm like, God, I could, on Sunday, actually, I'm 39. You're okay. Old. 39.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I just threw it out there. I was fishing for
when's your birthday?
On Sunday.
What date is that?
July 16th.
So you are the same birthday as Wallace.
Yeah, no, we talked about that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Happy birthday, you guys.
Happy birthday, Wallace.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
You little rascals.
Oh, jeez.
What was I saying?
Your performance, like the last 15%.
Yeah, so I think at my age, I'm just like, well, those days are gone.
They are.
Right?
You should retire.
And I was in track and field, and I'm like, God, would I love to just like consistently be able to do some 200-meter and 400-meter sprints? But I'm like, nope, can't do it. Do you see a lot of those people that are in that like 85%? We're like, I can almost get there, but I need you or somebody like you to.
They need that push.
Yeah,
right. They need that nudge. Yeah, that's definitely a dynamic. Like I have a guy who first came in because he was doing senior games track and field and tore a hamstring, right? And he wants to get back to it because it's like, this is something that brings life to my years, so we want to get that back for people. And, to think that your biological age means you have to like decrease your activity, that's actually completely false.
Right.
You want to maintain a level of health. As you age, you're going to have to increase your level of proactive activity to just maintain what you've already got. People, that's a big misconception.
I need some more whiskey. My cheeks are already buzzing from that little sip I took.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So hot.
A little whiskey tan.
Whiskey tan already. Sorry, guys. I'll just coming off the top of my head here. Yeah, just can you filter
color
that?
correct you out. Yeah.
So for you, like one of the things I wanted to accomplish on the podcast is give people like an idea of like patient walks in, expectations, kind of protocols. Because I mean, for us, like we have an idea, but hearing it from the sources.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, what's our injury?
Those are
side quests. What's your favorite thing to treat?
Yeah.
Oh man, I would say just like
you're like, I'm gonna jam this down.
This down is low back.
Low back.
Oh yeah, all day long. Because there's a bunch of different things it can come from, but a lot of it distills down to the same balance of strength, the same alignment cues, the same postural stuff. And as soon as people do just these simple things, they're like, oh my gosh, this makes such a difference. Because basically it's if I have a really ingrained motor pattern, like that's muscle memory. That's what people think of as a habit, right? Like, so somebody slices in their golf swing. You can make an immediate change, but that habit is still pretty durable.
I have that problem.
Not anymore.
No.
What's your fix?
I'm not telling you anything, but my lips are sealed.
Your lips are moisturized.
There you go.
If you ever golf with me, I have been putting chapstick on the face of my club so I can it like knuckleballs the ball a little bit.
Let's go while we're young.
You mind, sir, trying to tee off?
I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slice.
Damn! Okay, you can owe me.
I owe you nothing.
So my slices.
Sounds like you're cheating.
That's real.
Well, it's sommes like it.
I'm cheating.
Like,
come clean.
It's not a foolproof.
It's like corking a bat.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds
It's not
like.
cheating unless you get caught.
Yeah.
Little
There you go.
tar on the old ball.
Yeah, I'm wearing a baseball shirt, so that works.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So back to the original quest. Like walk through like patient experience.
Yes.
Client experience.
Okay, so somebody's coming in.
Low back pain.
Well, he was saying knee and shoulder.
Oh, knee and shoulder.
I'd say foot.
Richie, you selfish bastard.
I just want to know what's wrong
Yeah.
with me.
He wants like
Sorry.
a free consult.
Yeah, can we just you guys want to examine me on the
I'll be
table?
patient.
Yeah, let's just put Richie's foot on the table.
Let's do this for Richie. Let's do this for Richie.
Richie.
All right.
Okay.
No.
For Richie.
So-
For Richie.
It is my birthday.
That's
It
right.
is.
It's a gift to
Oh,
you.
you guys, you don't have to give
So,
me anything.
so let's say we're running and you've got
Sure.
some foot pain, right? And it's kind of consistent, but there's a little bit of variability there.
He broke his
I
toe
know.
weird. Did you tell him about this?
No.
Yeah, he's got a weird injury in his toe.
What the first thing that we do is we just talk with the person about their issues. What's going on? When do you feel it? What's been the progression? Just get an understanding of that. And then the most important thing, like even if that never happened, is just seeing the person move. So if we need to have that person go run, we can do that. It's a little bit easier to do stuff, in the office. But
He's
I'm
really fast too.
good. It's good. Good. Well, he's nice. But we do a lot of video because and we use some tablet stuff so we can kind of break it down and kind of go frame by frame and look for compensation.
Right.
So it's like, hey, on this, is it right foot or left foot?
Left foot.
Okay, so let's say, hey, when I strike on this right foot, I'm getting this nice push off. I have this gait is just fine, right? But as soon as I hit this left, it's kind of defaulting to the outside. I'm not getting back through my big toe. You can look at the bottoms of your shoes and say, yeah, this wear pattern's a little off. What's going on here, right? And so those are our symptoms.
Right.
But people think that's their problem, right?
Right.
Okay, I have this foot thing, and
Done. Let's just
I have
fix
this
it
foot
now.
problem.
Yeah.
I broke my toe. It is what it is, right? Well, actually, when you break your foot or you have to compensate for something like that, your body makes changes all the way up. Like, you can have somebody like, oh, what's going on with my shoulder? But it's like, then we do a couple just basic stability tests, not as in depth as these guys in terms of like kinesio testing when they're better, but just basics to say, do I think this joint is stable enough to influence the neuromuscular firing around it? Because if it's completely flapping in the wind, that needs to be addressed structurally, right? Or if that anyway. So
would you categorize like because I tell patients this, it's like some people need stability, some people need mobility, and that's one of our jobs as chiropractors. Like, do we need to mobilize this joint or do we need to leave it alone or like work around it? So that's maybe similar to what you're trying to tease out.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of talk about the triangle, right? Strength, stability, mobility, and it's got to grow in every direction. Mobility to a certain point.
What's the matter
It
with
was
you?
here.
I turned away so I didn't blow your eardrums out.
No, you did
We
a really
appreciate
good
that.
job at that one.
That was a 40-year-old sneeze.
Any male teacher in middle school just Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, God.
You guys are over
I like the
top.
triangle.
Triangle.
Yeah,
The expansion.
Strength,
Illuminati.
stability.
Arc reactor.
There you go.
Reactor.
Arc reactor. Flux capacitor. No, flux capacitor.
Damn you, flux capacitor.
Sorry.
So strength, stability, mobility,
Yep.
right? We need to see where things are at and what do we need to influence, because a lot of people will have kind of a flat side of the triangle. So if it checks out as stable enough, then we'll do this process called a neurological search. So we take this stimulus. So think of it like we're saying, the easiest way to understand it is like it's like a bandwidth test.
Sure.
What's running on 5G, what's running on 4G, 3G, and then like dumpster roaming data,
Yeah.
right?
Dial up.
Yeah.
Dial up, exactly, yeah. But most young people don't understand that.
Cups with a string.
What's that?
Yes.
Your string's loose.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
But so we do this test, and so I'm going to send sort of this test signal through, and you're actually going to feel that as this stimulus, squeeze, pressure sort of feeling.
Yeah.
And that's
And
with
I'm
the
gonna-
ArbWave or Phoenix Wave,
Yep,
right?
yep, exactly.
Cool.
So that's going to start right where your pain is, okay? And most people are like, oh man, what's going on? But that area, a lot of times, is completely fine,
Yeah.
right? It's the overworker, not necessarily the underworker or the inhibited area.
That's so cool to know.
So I send that test signal right through there, and then we pass it and map out that whole limb all the way up, wherever we need to go. And we're looking for the areas that, because that intensity of the test signal doesn't change. but your experience of it changes a lot based on if an area is efficient or being inhibited. Whole limb all the way up, wherever we need to go, and we're looking for the areas that, because that intensity of the test signal doesn't change, but your experience of it changes a lot based on if an area is efficient or being inhibited. So I might be really stiff in my calves, but I stimulate the calf and you're like, oh, that feels good, right? But we get to like your gracilis or something like that, and if your muscle up here has not been firing well and your body's avoiding it, and that's part of this whole like twist you do to get to the outside of your foot or something like that, that will come up as, ooh, what is that? Yuck, right? And you'll see the same type of compensation that you see when they move. Like this baseball kid, when he would throw, he would hike that shoulder up massively. And so as soon as I hit the area that actually is a real dysfunction instead of an overcompensation, I would see, ooh, that same type of guardedness. So we go through that little mapping process. You usually find at least 2 spots that are influencing that foot issue, or like keeping it, the brain's priority is keeping these areas dialed back, not in allowing everything to go back to how it's designed. The body's great at compensating to get us by and let us survive and limp along, but it's not as good unless we really hyper intentionally train it back. So that helps us figure out, okay, yep, I think your foot pain is coming from this lingering dysfunction in like your soleus and your groin. Okay, so now we're going to work those areas with this stimulus to help say to your nervous system, these areas are moving at velocity. They're getting lots and lots of information, lots of feedback. There's a lot of speed going on there. Okay, so right off the bat, that might feel guarded and weird and intense. But if it's for you, it hurts every time I go up on my toes or something like that. I need to have you probably do that motion if there's nothing wrong with it. Like I'm not gonna have you bend and twist and lift heavy things at the same time. But if we're doing something that makes sense, like rise up on your toes and go up under your heels, something like that, I need to get your brain back in the context of what it hasn't been doing right. Now it's got this new piece of information to help reintegrate those muscles back into what ought to have been happening. And by the time we do a few rounds where we take it up to bring out the guardedness, work it down, take it up some more, work it down, you're reconditioning those areas to deal with stress again. And now, bing, bang, boom, 7 minutes later, something like that, we'll take you all off and we're going to retest those movements. A lot of people will see at least 50% pain reduction, like right off the bat, like 7 minutes later. Sometimes even more, sometimes a little bit less. We look for at least 25-30% minimum to be confident that we can help that person. But they go through that. Okay, what might come out of that? You'll probably have some of the symptoms return a little bit because you've had, how long have you had the issue?
15 years.
Okay, so I mean, like 15 years versus 7 minutes. I'm not a wizard.
One visit's going to fix it, right?
Guaranteed.
Well, the cool part is if I can see. So I look for 3 main things in an eval. 1, do we have clear search locations? Like your body told us this was not cool, right? Sure. If that's clear, that's a good thing for me, right? And then number 2 is when we're doing our work, if we can take something that is guarded and move through and get it to be much more tolerant, that's a really good thing too. It's showing us that adaptability potential. And then number 3 is symptom change. Hey, actually, he was able to go up on his feet, and instead of this left foot toeing out, he was actually able to stay straight. Or he went, he went 20 degrees higher or something like that. We would want to see a change in those symptoms right off the bat. If I see those things, then that's a definitely green light.
It's like a pain guide, like a spirit guide, but for pain. Your path is towards your pain, but you need somebody to guide you to do it correctly.
Well, you'll get some guardedness, right? But then your body is getting this whole new set of information that it's, optimally designed to be able to handle, right? So as you start moving and adapting and changing, we'll see that guardedness go away. So it's not something that's like, here, bite down on this.
And that's probably where the majority of people get the soreness and fatigue afterwards. Because it's like,
think of it like you've got a muscle that's been sitting up in the attic for a long time. you know,
get down here.
we're bringing it down, we're dusting it off, we're getting
Mm-hmm.
it back in here. And that's got to adapt, and it's going to have some soreness and things like that. But it's typically not the, ooh, I just abused that soreness. It's more the, wow, that felt like a workout, you know. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I definitely needed a change of clothes after our session.
That's true.
I was sweating. It was good though. I mean, like, honestly, I tell people it was one of the only things that moved my knee pain away.
That's great.
So.